kissed my wife in front of everyone. I said, "It's over," and watched her fall apart. The room hummed with laughter and the clink of glasses. The kind of polished corporate gala where champagne flowed freely and smiles were carefully rehearsed while deals were quietly made. I stood near the bar with a whiskey in hand, observing my wife, Elena, as she moved through the crowd like she belonged at the center of it all. We had been married for 5 years, built what I thought was a solid life together. A house in the suburbs, weekend escapes, the whole picture-perfect arrangement. At least that's what I believed. Then I saw him, Marcus, my boss's prized protege. The slick sales VP with effortless charm and a reputation for talking his way into anything he wanted, including places he had no business being. He approached Elena with that familiar, predatory smile, leaning in far closer than necessary as they talked. I brushed it off at first. Networking, right? That's what these events were for. But then it happened. Right there, in front of colleagues, clients, and even the CEO, he pulled her toward him and kissed her. Not a quick peck. A slow, unmistakable kiss. His hands settled confidently on her waist, as if she were already his. The room seemed to tilt beneath my feet. Gasps rippled through the crowd, and I felt eyes dart toward me. Elena's face flushed red, but she didn't pull away immediately. When she finally did, she laughed nervously, like it was some kind of joke. Something inside me snapped. Betrayal crashed over me in waves. Late nights at the office suddenly made sense. Her sudden enthusiasm for work events hit me like blow after blow. Still, I didn't explode. Not yet. Instead, I walked toward them, calm and controlled, ice in my veins. I slipped an arm around her shoulders. "Everyone," I said clearly, my voice steady but loud enough to hush the murmurs. "Looks like the party's just getting interesting. But for Elena and me, it's over." Her eyes widened in pure horror as the flawless mask she wore cracked. Marcus smirked, clearly thinking he'd won. Elena collapsed inward, whispering, "David, please, it was nothing." I cut her off. Nothing doesn't happen in front of our entire world. Then I turned and walked out, the door slamming behind me like a final judgment. That night, alone in our house, rage slowly hardened into resolve. Revenge wasn't about fists or shouting. It was about dismantling the carefully constructed life she'd built. Elena lived for appearances, the devoted wife, the ambitious executive. I had supported her career, opened doors for her, introduced her to the right people. Now I would use that knowledge. First, I gathered proof. Her phone, left unlocked one too many times, told the story. Texts, photos, late-night hotel meetups with Marcus. It wasn't just a kiss. It was a months-long affair. My chest ached, but anger sharpened my focus. I didn't confront her yet. I planned. The next day, my phone lit up with apologies, sobbing voicemails, desperate texts. "David, I love you. It was a mistake." I ignored them, letting the silence gnaw at her. At work, I requested a private meeting with the CEO, presenting myself as wounded but professional. "I hate to bring personal issues here," I said carefully, "but Marcus's behavior last night is affecting morale." I showed just enough anonymized screenshots to raise serious concern without full exposure. Marcus received a warning, but the whispers spread. His golden reputation dulled. Elena came home that evening, eyes swollen, voice shaking. "Please, let's talk." I let her in, pretending calm. "Talk about how you've been sleeping with my colleague?" Her face went white. "How did you?" I held up her phone. "You weren't careful." She collapsed onto the couch, sobbing. "I was lonely. You were always working." Weak excuses. I felt a flicker of guilt, then dismissed it. Loneliness didn't justify humiliating me in front of everyone I knew. That's when I told her, "I'm filing for divorce tomorrow, and I'm taking everything." Our prenup was airtight, but I documented her spending. Company perks funneled into personal luxuries, gifts for Marcus included. I hinted at reporting it to HR. Her career and reputation dangled by a thread. Panic flooded her face. "David, no. I'll lose my job, my friends." She grabbed my arm, pulled away. "You should have thought about that before kissing him in front of everyone." In the weeks that followed, I watched her unravel from a distance. I moved into a sleek downtown apartment. She tried damage control, posting smiling selfies online, but the cracks were obvious. Mutual friends pulled away after I quietly shared the truth. No embellishment, just facts. Marcus dropped her the moment pressure mounted. He was demoted and muttered that I'd ruined him. Good. One evening, Elena showed up at my door, a shadow of who she'd been. Hair messy, makeup streaked. "David, I can't do this. I have nothing left." She confessed everything through tears. The excitement, the regret, how she'd thrown away our life for a fling. I felt a storm of emotions. Old love, deep hurt, and a cold sense of justice. "You destroyed your own world, Elena," I said. "Now live in it." I closed the door as her pleas echoed down the hallway. Revenge tasted bitter and sweet. As I poured a drink and looked out over the city lights, I felt free. She'd kissed away our future. I made sure she'd never forget the price. Months later, I was thriving, promoted, dating someone genuine. Elena, last I heard, was jobless and alone, piecing together what remained. That public kiss became her undoing. And me? I rebuilt stronger, scarred, wiser. Revenge wasn't just saying it was over. It was making sure she felt every fracture.